Good morning and welcome to Wholesome Roots. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about something. I want to talk to you about homesteading. Like really talk to you about homesteading. I recorded a part for a video earlier this week, and when I was editing the video I decided that it was going to be part of the video that I cut to bring the time down to where it would be a enjoyable video. I could not bring myself to actually cut the part. Instead, I decided to save it for a video that I've been talking about making for a little while now. It's a video about how we are all homesteaders. No matter where you are on the path to homesteading, you too are a homesteader. So I'm gonna play that clip now of me talking about how I got to where I am. Where I started, my journey along the way, and how I got here. So what many of you consider real homesteading, I consider what you're doing real homesteading too. Whether you live in an apartment and you go to the farmer's market to buy food to can, or you help farmers in a volunteer position at another farm, or maybe you're just researching everything at this point, trying to learn what it takes to have a homestead so that in the future you can put down roots on an actual homestead. You don't have to have the land and the animals to be a homesteader. So I'm gonna play that clip now and then I'll be back. So the origins of the name Wholesome Roots, Ryan and I went back and forth and back and forth. I had a Facebook page for a long time called Passionate Plants, and that's where I shared my passion about plants, and I did that for about 8 years. But when I started to develop more about my homestead and the animals and talking more about chickens and goats and stuff, it felt like the Passionate Plants name wasn't all encompassing. It wasn't all we were doing. So we wanted to come up with something that was an umbrella, something that could house every one of our passions, and then we could have each one of those passions in that umbrella. We really felt like the word roots was important in there, and we really felt like something wholesome or natural or genuine. We wanted to be so real. One day we just came up with it, Wholesome Roots. And to me, it felt so right, because this whole journey for me of homesteading, even though I've been homesteading since I left home, I've been on that journey to return to my roots of homesteading. My parents were hardcore homesteaders when I was growing up. They did everything from a sustainable, natural approach. So as I got older, we no longer had goats when I grew up and moved away. We no longer had pigs or geese, but we still had the chickens and we still had the gardens, and my mom was still very active in preserving her foods and collecting herbs for medicines and all of that wholesome stuff that I grew up with. That was my roots, and that was where I strived to get back to my entire adult life. I was only able to do it in small increments. When I had my apartment, I grew plants on the patio. When I had a small backyard, I grew a tiny little vegetable box in the backyard. I gradually progressed into having the chickens and the guineas. And then I had the ability to move here 3 years ago, and that was when we were able to get four-legged livestock. And that was when it became official that we were farming. I felt like once you had the 4 legs, you're officially a farmer. So Wholesome Roots was about getting back to my roots and doing the things that I grew up doing on a homestead. You don't have to have goats to be a homesteader. You don't have to have ducks to be a homesteader. Or turkeys. You don't have to have quail to be a homesteader. You don't have to have chickens to be a homesteader. And you don't even need to have a garden to be a homesteader. Although that is where lots of people start their journey. You don't have to have a barn and outbuildings. You don't have to have land. To be a true homesteader, it all starts right here. It's a mindset. It's a way of thinking. It is a desire to be self-sustainable. It is a dream of becoming more self-reliant and providing more of your family's outputs that you need for your family to survive off of your own hard work or your own property. You don't have to own property and be farming to be a homesteader. That makes you a farmer. To be a homesteader, you just have to think about what you can do to be more sustainable, what you can do to help provide for your family in a way that is better for them. Whatever that might be, whatever your version of better, that's better. That's all you need to worry about. You don't need to compare yourself to other people. You don't need to look at what somebody else has or what somebody else is able to do and think that that's part of what you need. You just do what you can where you are. Everybody's at a different stage in the journey. Everybody's at a different stage in their life. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of education, and a lot of effort for me to get to where I am. And it wasn't an easy path, but it was one that I knew I wanted. And I still struggle with it. Our financial situation is nowhere near where other people my age are. We are not equal to our peers in that sense. But in some respects, we have more than they have. Because we have a lifestyle that we can be proud of. A lifestyle that we can say we have done everything we can to try to provide for our family off of our own piece of land. And your piece of land can be an apartment. It doesn't have to be a true farm. It doesn't. You can do it from an apartment. There are little tiny steps you can make to make yourself a sustainable homesteader without ever even having property. If that's a dream that you want to fulfill, by all means, fulfill it. Follow that path. Make steps in that direction. But if you know that you will never have that property for whatever means, whether it's because of your health, your finances, your age, whatever you might feel are your constrictions, I want you to reconsider those constrictions. And I want you to think, are they really preventing you from your dreams? Can you possibly find a way around them? Maybe you can. But if you come to the conclusion that you can't, you can still do things that are sustainable, that make you just as much of a homesteader as anybody else who has hundreds of cows or 20 goats. You are just as much of a homesteader as they are. If anybody had told me when I was living in my apartment and growing one tomato plant in a big 5-gallon pot and all of my herbs and a little pepper plant on my tiny little balcony. My balcony was like this big, you guys. I mean, it was just enough to walk out onto. And you couldn't walk out on it because I had it full of pots. If anybody had told me back then that I wasn't a homesteader, I think I would have been crushed. If anybody has told you that you're not a homesteader because you don't have these things, I want you to ignore those people. And I want you to listen to me. Because I'm telling you, you are a homesteader. And if you're even questioning just a little bit if I'm talking to you right now, I am. You would not be watching this video if you weren't a homesteader in your heart. So I don't want to hear any more people saying, well, I'm not a real homesteader because I don't have chickens, or I'm not a real homesteader because I've never been able to garden, or I'm not a real homesteader because I don't have goats. That's ridiculous. We are all homesteaders in our hearts. That's where it really starts, and that's where it really matters. So you can achieve more than what you have right now. Even if it's just educating yourself and learning more about the things that interest you in homesteading. That is your path. That is your journey. Don't let anybody take that from you, because you're special and you're good and you're doing what you can. And that's all that matters. So keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing. And you know what? Add some more stuff to it. Do some more things. Research something different that you've never thought about researching before. And know, deep down in your heart, you are a homesteader. Now, with all that being said, if you have a shadow of a doubt in your mind that you're a homesteader, please reach out. There are so many great YouTubers that are willing and able to help you. If you're wanting to learn more about something and you don't know how to find the information that you're looking for, ask me. I'll help you. Ask other YouTubers, ask other bloggers. There are so many great resources right now in the world of homesteading that you can gather the information that you desire to learn more about. And there are so many small farms that are popping up all over the place where you can go and intern. Even if you can't get an internship at a farm, you can volunteer. You can go and volunteer at a sustainable farm and learn hands-on all of the things that you wished you could learn about. You can. You have to seek these things out. Further your education on every step of this journey, and you will not regret it. Even if you never get to the point where you have a property that you get to do an extensive amount of homesteading on, you will still learn so much that is valuable to your life and that you will carry with you forever. So I just hope that my little rant, my little soapbox here, more than anything, I hope that it inspires you. I hope that you are inspired to know that you are a homesteader and to know that you can develop even more homesteading skills at any point in your journey. You can learn more. So don't stop learning. Continue that education, continue the journey, and enjoy the heck out of it, because this is a lot of fun. When you get to the point where you have this many animals and this much garden, it's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. It is not all fun, but it is so rewarding. The funnest part is the learning. So get out there, find out more about what you're interested in, and begin your journey if you haven't already. But I tell you what, if you're watching this video, you've already begun and you're already a homesteader. So keep at it. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and don't lose your dream, because everything is worth dreaming for. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, comment down below. Comment down below and let me know where you are. What is your steps right now that you're taking in your journey to become a homesteader? A homesteader that you already are. What are you doing to be more self-sustainable? And we'll see you next time on Wholesome Roots.